Blues rock riffing with open strings. A 1, 2, 3. Hello friends, and welcome back to Swiftlessons for another lead guitar tutorial. In today's session, I'm going to be breaking down a very powerful technique that's often employed by high-level blues and rock guitar players, and that is adding in open strings into your licks, particularly low bass tones in between your phrases. So this is something that you can do in the key of E, the key of A, drop D tuning, and also open tune-ins. And it really adds a lot of dynamics to your playing, a lot of thickness, and promotes awareness of where you are in the chord progression and also in the rhythm. So in this lesson, I'm going to break down the demonstration you just heard. You're going to learn a bunch of licks that take you from a 1 to 4 progression in the key of E. I've got a full tab at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Support the channel there and gain access to a ton of extra resources for all my popular YouTube guitar lessons. Now, let's get started. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with line number 1 of this practice routine. It's going to sound like this at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that last note, the open A string, is going to take us to line number 2. Okay, tackling that first riff, once again real slow, it sounds like this. With the count, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I slid up to the 7th fret of the low E string, 5, 7 on the A string, stacking, 7th fret of the low E, alright, then find a G note, 3rd fret of the low E string with a slight bend, alright, then the open E string and let it ring. Put all that together and we've got from there, we're going to have that low E string ringing out, and then as it's sustaining, we're going to play. One more time, real slow. Okay, so the low E string ringing was filling in the dead space, or the open space there. Alright, as it's ringing, we're sliding from 2 up to 4. Then grabbing the 3rd fret of the B string. It's classic blues right there. Alright, then the open high E string, followed by a hammer pull trick. Okay, so that was 2, going up to 3, back to 2, and then to the open G string using hammer-ons and pull-offs. Alright, followed by the 2nd fret of the D string, and then once again, that low E string open, filling in the space. You put those two measures together and we have 1, 2, 3. Alright, now into the next measure, we're going to let that low E string ring out, and we're going to play a dead stroke, followed by a strum of the E7 chord shape, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, 1st fret G, 3rd fret B string. Alright, then we're going to use that initial riff that we had to transition to the A chord. Okay, so open A string representing that chord. Okay, now that's going to sum up line number 1. You put it all together and we have now we're ready to move on to line number 2. Okay, demonstrating line number 2, starting from that open A string, we have. Okay, you can end it with any kind of E chord that you like. One more time, real slow. Okay, so start off with open A string, then sliding up to 7, you can slide from about the 4th fret, and then go to the 5th fret D string. Should sound like this. One more time. That's followed by. Okay, once again using that open A string, okay, just to fill in the space and add a little bit of oomph to our playing. So that was 7, 7, D string and A string. Then 5, 7. Bend in the minor third of the A chord, 5th fret of the G string, followed by the open A string. That's one measure of music there on line 2. One more time. Okay, the A string is then ringing. It's filling in the space, giving us something to play against. We're going to play. Okay, so I slid 7th fret of the G string up to 9, then grab the 8th fret B and vibrato. Alright, then a classic blues lick back in the open position. Alright, that was the high E string, 3-0, open B, and then to the 3rd fret, and then back to the open E string. Okay, if you want to thicken that up and make it sound a little bit more aggressive, you can try deadening the strings so you can get a rake on it. Okay, that's called a rake technique. Alright, and I'm doing that with my right hand, just covering up the strings as best I can, and then making sure that my hand's not covering the target string. Alright, then I'm going to have that same hammer pull technique, followed by the low E string, and then if I like, I can end it with an E chord or an E7. Okay, you put all of line 2 together and we've got. Okay, very good everybody. You've got lines 1 and 2 down separately. Now let's put them together at a slow tempo, making sure that you're tapping your foot as you play. 1, 2, 3. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this lead guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up. So keep checking in. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.